Welcome to all Caribbean entrepreneurs. If you've been ready and waiting to take your business digital and get paid online while you sip something strong on the beach, this podcast is for you. We'll hear from the Caribbean's finest entrepreneurs on topics like e-commerce, business development, brand building, social media, their wins and failures. This is the only place in the region helping you navigate the digital age from the Caribbean's perspective. This is Digipreneur FM. And now, let's give it up for the Digiboss himself, Mr. Karan Rose.
Thank you to everybody tuning in to another episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. As usual, it is your boy, Mr. Rose, and we are back at it again. God, I love the intro music. But DJ, you gotta fade us out, DJ, because we gotta talk to the people. August 29th, 2022. This is episode number 97. Episode number 97, and we are always going to be having some fun. We're always going to be having some fun whenever we do these podcast episodes. So in this episode, I wanted to talk about websites versus marketplaces. Now, I'm fresh off of here in Trinidad and Tobago. We had the TIC Expo trade show. All right, TIC is the Trade and Investment Convention. Right, so you had businesses from all different sectors coming together at this convention. So you had local artisans, you had enterprise level companies. Heck, you even had hardware stores coming in there to sell their hardware goods. You could have bought a wrench, you could have bought a saw, you could have bought a car battery. Like there was a heck of a lot of different sectors that were all there together at the Trade and Investment Convention. All right. So with that, it was pretty good. Like when I say pretty good, I think for me it was good because after how many years of lockdown, it's good to be out, number one, and on top of that, it's good to network and meet a lot of people that you've only been interacting with you've only been interacting with online, and it's been great to just get out and interact with people in person at these business events. So, for me, it was great because of that. There was definitely a lot of chatter around, people were expecting a whole lot more because the last TIC that we had before COVID hit was much, much bigger than this one, right? So I guess the expectations were really high and a lot of people were kind of let down. But you know what? It is what it is. We're not here to, down the convention, right? I had fun. I met people, so I enjoyed it. I had a good time, right? Now, there was a lot of, small business owners, in the food district, in the beauty, skincare, the artisans were out in numbers. And while everybody had their boots, not everybody was up to the times in the sense of you're going by one person, they have all the payments, right? So you could have paid with online payments, online credit cards, QR codes. They had their debit machines out. Like they were taking everything. And then you had others that were only taking cash, right? Weren't set up for any other thing. So one of my gripes is that, with the TTMA, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturing Association, and all of the other partners that put this event on, I felt like they missed a major opportunity to help up level many of these businesses that were selling. I felt like, there needs to be a standard of, there needs to be quality assurance at this point, right? And the opportunity that I think that they missed was, okay, you're going to register, you want to have a booth. One of the things that I'm asking is, how are people going to be able to purchase from you? Okay, you don't have any of the payment mechanisms. All right, well, we are partnered with a WePay, or we're partnered with an FCB. We're partnered with somebody, and we can do an express setup to get you either, QR code payments through WePay, or we can do an express setup of a links machine with FCB. I'm just giving examples, right? That way, the business says, okay, you know what, we've been trying to get that, but, we, for whatever reason, we couldn't do that or whatever. So you give them the opportunity now to get these things set up. That way, when people are coming to these booths, there are multiple ways to pay, and it's not just cash, right? It's not just cash. And then by the end of it, the business now has a new tool that they can now work with post a convention, right? So the TTMA and all the other stakeholders of TIC, they could have created a standard level of experience, because one of the biggest complaints in talking to as many people that I did was that the experience in terms of buying, which is what we were there for, right? Most of the booths didn't really create too much of an experience. You had like a Carib that again, they were I don't want to say over the top, but they created an experience. Like, they created a kind of an experience with their stuff. Not every booth has the budget to create an experience with their booths, right? Kariri, IDB, they did with their booths. There was that battery booth. Oh man, I forget the name. Yellow Lightning Boat. You guys know who I'm talking about over there. They had like a kind of an immersive experience as well. So not everybody had the budget. Tobago House of Assembly, they created a wonderful experience. I think Tobago had the best experience at the TIC convention, right? I loved what they did. Not everybody has that budget to do that, right? But TTMA, you guys could have at least ensured quality assurance by making sure that every single vendor there was able to offer the same level of experience when it comes to buying and purchasing. All right? We're not trying to walk around with money. On one day, you have the chief of police telling you don't walk around with large sums of money. But then we come to the trade convention where we come to do business with a lot of the small business owners. But then you go there and the majority of people are not taking debit card or taking credit card, or QR code payments, where a lot of that stuff isn't there. And to me, you guys could have vetted everybody, created a wonderful experience in that perspective. If whoever did not have any form of digital payment solution or debit machine, you guys should have been able to work with an FCB or any of the banks, or work with a WePay and create and get these people expedited so that they could have set up and been ready for taking payments at the convention. Because let me tell you something. It was mad annoying, going up to somebody's booth and then, they only take cash. And I'm like, man, I got $20. And for those of you who are thinking, well, you know the vibes, you should have taken out cash. No, I should never be in a situation where I am forced to take out cash. And I'm going to repeat that. It's 2022. We should never be in a position where we are forced to take out cash to do business with you. That is just a deterrent for me to do business with you at this point, because I am not going to take out cash. I don't own a wallet. I own a card holder. So I'm moving with cards. I want to tap to pay, right? And for my international audience, and this is how crazy this is, right? For all the international audience, they're listening to this part and they're like, what, cash? cards, tap to pay. What are we in, 2010? We're not doing that anymore. Where is your Apple Pay? Where is your Amazon Pay? Where is your tap to pay with your watch? Where is that? We don't have none of that. Okay, we don't got none of that. All right, we don't got none of that. So we are now starting to tap to pay with our actual cards. We've been doing that in Canada for like 15 plus years. Right. So, anywho, I digress. Reason for this episode is because, seeing the trade shows, all of the booths, then seeing the announcement of the new marketplace from our national telecoms operator, TSTT. Parlour Caribbean is the new e-commerce marketplace. I feel like we are committed to getting everything wrong. I feel like we go out of our way to just do the things that don't make any logical sense. When it comes to marketplaces, online marketplaces, and physical malls or physical trade shows, we here in Trinidad, I don't know how bad it is in the other Caribbean islands, but I tend to, when I listen to the feedback, a lot of the problems that we're facing in Trinidad are similar problems facing other Caribbean islands, right? But I'm going to say Trinidad. When a business is pushing an online marketplace, they're always selling it like it's a physical mall. So because the majority of small business owners, heck, even some of the large businesses are not tech savvy and don't understand the digital space, they're pushing the concept that a marketplace is just like a mall. A marketplace is just like a mall, where it's strength in numbers. And, when people come to the mall, don't they see all of the other stores, and don't they walk into the other stores, and don't they buy from the other stores? They might have come there for the big brand, but they passed 20 stores to get to the big brand. So you benefit from, just being in the same vicinity as the bigger brand, right? That works for brick and mortar. That works for malls offline. But that is not how online marketplaces works. So when all of these brands or businesses are trying to sell you on a marketplace and sell you on that concept, it's false. It's misleading, because that is not how consumer behavior works for online marketplaces. That's not how consumer behavior works for digital. It's just not. And they lie to you. But just think about it. Think about your own daily habits when it comes to marketplaces. How many of you go on Amazon and scroll through categories? How many of you go on eBay and visit all the different categories? I sure as hell don't. Most people I know, as a matter of fact, I could almost go on record and say I don't know anybody that scrolls through multiple categories on an eBay or on an Amazon. Typically, the customer journey for a marketplace is the person goes on to a search engine like Google, right? That's the largest one. 92% of the market share of the searches are done via Google, anywhere, over any platform, right? So we go on Google, we type in shoes for plantar fasciitis, however you say it. You might see a blog talking about what types of shoes you need. That blog is going to educate you on, hey, you should be looking for these types of shoes. Your next Google search is copy and paste the type of shoe that person spoke about. The shoe pops up on Amazon. You click on the Amazon link, you read the reviews, you add to cart. You then scroll through, or you might, before you add to cart, you might even scroll through at the bottom, and Amazon has the comparisons. Hey, these are the other shoes that are in the same vicinity as the one that you just looked. And then you start to do your comparisons. You might even read some more blogs. You might watch some YouTube videos comparing the different types of shoes. Then you're going to read the reviews on Amazon, and then ultimately you make a decision, you add to cart, and you purchase. All right? that is really the customer journey when it comes to marketplaces. This is why Amazon has focused so much on ranking on the search engines, because they understand the customer journey. All right? You will even get, like, even if you type in again, if you've read a blog from somebody talking about the type of shoe and you put that shoe in, you're also going to see the manufacturer's website. You might see other retailers who might be reselling the item. You might, but predominantly you're going to see listings on Amazon, and you're going to see listings on the company's direct website, and they sell direct to consumer. All right? But you rarely see a lot of these products on other marketplaces, because they're usually so dominated by Amazon and dominated by the manufacturer's website. All right? Here in the Caribbean, we have tons and tons of marketplaces, tons. But for all of the marketplaces that I know, they do not understand SEO, search engine optimization for marketplaces, which is why you almost never find people's products on Caribbean marketplaces. You almost never find them. All right? Because the majority of the marketplaces don't understand search engine optimization. All right? And so what I want to do, this episode, I kind of want to give you guys a breakdown of, why should a business go and use a marketplace versus a website and vice versa, right? We want to break down the differences between marketplaces versus website, because they both have their pros and cons. Business owners just need to understand their digital strategy. They need to understand, their business model and what would make sense for them. So let's begin. The differences between a marketplace versus a website. I'm going to keep it really simple, right? An e-commerce marketplace is a storefront that hosts product listings from multiple sellers. Whereas your website, that is your digital home. It allows people to step into your world. You're able to create and curate your own experience. You have full control. It is also easier for your specific website to be found on search engines versus, you leaving SEO up to the platform that you decide to go on, right? If the platform is no good at SEO, then your brand on that platform suffers because nobody is going to find you, all right? And remember, you are listed amongst other people, okay? A marketplace lets other sellers sell their products or their services while your website is your website. So you're focusing only on selling your own products or services, okay? A marketplace is a place for multiple buyers and sellers to meet and conduct business. Your website, that is going to be, just yours. It's your platform. It's your online store. There is much more competition on a marketplace. Remember, when someone lands on the marketplace, you are not the only option, right? This is why Amazon is so great, because of the amount of AI, the tools, the data gathering that they do on products. They are able to make the right recommendations. Amazon has their own SEO. They have their own built-in search engine, right? None of these other platforms like an eBay or Craigslist or Kijiji or any of the Caribbean marketplaces, none of them actually have built their own search engine for Amazon, right? All of the Caribbean marketplaces are typically built on already existing software. Amazon has built their own platforms from scratch, right? Nobody is anywhere close to Amazon in the world. So even when you hear a marketplace tell you, our platform is like Amazon, no, the hell it's not, okay? Amazon is Amazon for a reason. The tools that they have built from scratch that are behind what you see are unmatched, and nowhere else in the world has built a system like Amazon. So the combination of Google and Amazon together is a deadly combination that no other marketplace has even remotely come close to replicating. It's not close. There's no debate. And anybody who tells you we are like an Amazon, no, the hell you're not. Okay? All right. So I'm going to say this, right? The first question people are going to ask is a market, what is better? Is a marketplace or a website better? I will always say a website, your own branded website, is always going to be better than a marketplace, right? Now, I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not saying that, a website, I'm not going to say that a marketplace doesn't have its pros. It does. There's always going to be room. However, your own website is always going to be better for your business. All right? And let's go into it. So the first real difference is that your website is going to run on your own domain name, which is typically going to be your business name. That is not an option with a marketplace. A marketplace like Amazon or eBay, they are its own brand. They are its own platform. They have its own URL. They have their own checkout processes. So it is highly unlikely that customers really get to see your brand or even register your brand mentally when they buy your products from a marketplace. Remember, the marketplace is pushing their own brand. Amazon pushes their own brand. How many of you are looking at the brand that you are buying when you're purchasing from Amazon? How many of you are actively looking at the brand when you are buying a lot of products? Yes, there are well-known entities that sell on Amazon. So a Sony sells on Amazon, a Nike sells on Amazon, but there was even controversy where Nike pulled their store from Amazon, right? We know about the major controversies where Amazon looks at all of the data, mines that data, and then creates their own replica of your product under the Amazon Essentials or under that brand, and then blacklist the company from selling those products on the platform. Like, all of those things are, well documented, right? All of those things are well documented on Amazon's behalf, right? Which is, that's another topic. We won't get into that. Another difference is that while a well-built marketplace has the potential to gain more traffic to the platform, they do have the potential, there is no focus on your individual brand. There is more competition on a marketplace. And whilst your product may be purchased, again, there is less focus on your specific brand. Remember, when you have your own website, that is your home. You are able to design it and curate the experience as you see fit. You can leave a memorable, you could create a memorable experience when people land on your website. But when people go to a marketplace, you are subjected to however that marketplace has built their brand, built their image, built their processes. Not all of them they're not built the same, and not all of them are good. Not all of them are good, all right? Marketplaces can always be a good first step for small business owners because they benefit from access to a larger customer base. Well, typically, because, listen, not all of them are building a large customer base. Remember, especially in the Caribbean, not all of the marketplaces that we have not all of them have a large customer base, right? So on an established platform, there is a potential for greater visibility for your products and services. The seller's products are featured alongside those of sellers on another website or a single website, with the marketplace owner receiving commission off of each sale. So remember, all of your products are going to be lined up and featured amongst your competitors, other business owners, all right? So people are going to be able to compare and contrast. The bigger the marketplace gets, the more competition you face from getting sales. That's just the reality of it. And for me, to be able to find success on a marketplace, your brand has to build a bigger brand outside of the marketplace. So even if you build the brand and you might not have e-commerce on your website, you might not do direct sales on your website. Let's just say your shop, you have it linked to your shop on a established platform because they have the infrastructure, logistics, and the payments thing sorted out. You still need to build your brand on your own website. That way you are ranking in the search engines. You are able to curate the customer experience and build your digital presence. But then if you want to link to the shop, then you're able to link to the shop on the marketplace. You can do that, right? That is one way to kind of circumvent, all of the competition you go through on the marketplace. Because if you do not have your own website and you aren't creating your own experience, and people could only find you on a marketplace, well, remember, they could just as well see if you're selling pepper sauce. When you go on a marketplace and you see 100 pepper sauce, how does one determine, which one to buy? How does one determine which one to buy? And none of the marketplaces have the tools, the back-end tools, like an Amazon, to properly recommend, the products. So you have a lot more stiffer competition, and you don't have any of the tools that Amazon does to help sellers sell. Okay? Now, with your website, a traditional business is able to create that personalized store, as I said, customizing according to their customers' needs, easy to use and navigate, as well as ensure everything from shipping times to quality standards is making sure it's exactly what your customer wants. With the marketplace, you are using whatever they have built, and it may not always be to your liking or your customer's best interest or your customer's liking. If the marketplace themselves haven't created a good experience or checkout experience, then your brand takes a hit as well, especially if it's the only place to buy from you. So there are many people that have a problem with planting seeds. When planting seeds decides to blow out customers publicly online, if that is the only platform customers can do business with you, then remember, planting seeds is a reflection of your business as well. So your brand can take a hit from being on the platform. If the e-commerce platform, if they're going rogue and they're doing their own thing, the checkout experience is not good, then your brand takes a hit. So keep that in mind, right? A marketplace doesn't focus on building your brand. They are very transactional, right? They are here to show products and get people to buy the products. They're not here to really elevate your brand. Some of the Caribbean platforms are trying to push more brands and help you get to know the brands, and I think it's needed. It's definitely needed, but traditionally, marketplaces are not focused on building your brand. They're focused on pushing products, right? Your own website, again, that is your digital real estate. That's going to allow you to create your experience. So people get to learn all about your brand and interact with your brand in many ways that a marketplace simply doesn't allow for. Customer behaviors are that they go on Google, they search for their problem or query, and a piece of content or product on Amazon or your website shows up as a response. Caribbean marketplaces really haven't done that much of a good job when it comes to SEO. So you're searching for these products and you're not seeing any of the products really showing up on Google, Bing, or Yahoo search. Think about it. Go and search for some of your things on Google and see if they pop up on the search engines. So you got to keep in mind that remember your physical malls, consumer behaviors for physical malls. They're going to go in, they're going to drive, they're going to walk through the malls. It's not the same for online stores. People are going to Google, they're going to search for the product, they're going to go compare product to product. People are not necessarily going and scrolling, all the different categories, all the different brands, all the different stores. That behavior is for a physical mall where people go to it, park, and walk. Online stores, online marketplaces, not the same thing, right? So it is much easier. You have more control over ranking in the search engines with your own website than you do via a marketplace, all right? And each marketplace has different fees associated and a different business model. You as the business owner need to look at all of the marketplaces to see which one aligns with your business strategy. I'll give you an example. Most of the online marketplaces are going to charge you a subscription fee. So they're going to charge you whether or not you are selling on the platform. All right. So you pay your subscription fee. Then there's the transaction fees, and then the platform is making a commission off of every sale that you do. Right. So there's a lot of fees associated with most marketplaces. Now, Carb Shopper, they are very different in the sense that they don't charge you a monthly fee. However, what you essentially do is they essentially, quote unquote, kind of buy the product from you at a wholesale price, and they mark up the item. That way, all of the fees are covered, right? So your fees on Carb Shop are going to be different because you're essentially giving to them at a wholesale rate. That way, all of the fees are covered, and you do not have a monthly subscription fee to be on their platform, right? So that is great for a lot of people who might not necessarily want to pay a subscription fee. Remember, even though you're paying a subscription fee, that does not guarantee you sales. Many of the folks that I know listed on the marketplaces aren't doing too well and have come off of marketplaces because they weren't seeing the traction that they thought they were going to see, all right? And the money ultimately just wasn't worth it. They weren't able to justify spending the $600 to $700 TT dollars a month. That's like $100 US a month to list on the platform. Then you have the transaction fees, the commission fees, all that jazz, right? So you as the business owner, when you are looking at the marketplaces, you need to see how is the platform making their money and what is the cost going to be for you. You need to break down the subscription fee, the transaction fee, the commission fees, and then you need to ensure that you're able to cover. You need to break down how many sales am I going to need a month to cover or break even to be on this platform. With your own website, it's definitely much cheaper because you're only going to be paying your hosting fee. Your domain fee is going to be yearly. If you're using a platform like a WePay doesn't charge you a monthly fee. If you're using a service like the bank is going to charge you a monthly fee if you're using a First Atlantic Commerce, right? So all of these things, you need to break down the seed. Does it make more sense to go the route of the marketplace, or does it make more sense to go build your own website, right? Or should you have both? To me, if you're going the route of the marketplace, you should have a website because you do not want to leave building your brand only to the marketplace, all right? Because you're going to be at their mercy, hoping and praying that they market you correctly. And chances are they're not going to be doing that because they have hundreds of other people to worry about. And the bigger the platform gets, the less focus there is on you. And because none of these platforms have built out the platform and tools like Amazon to properly market your products, it's a lot of just manual labor with people just putting products on display on their website. And it's not going to be a good experience for you as the business owner. You're not going to get what you want out. So please, if you are on a marketplace, definitely still have your website. So ultimately, for me, I think if you're interested in building a brand, then building your own website, setting up your own checkouts, your delivery options, that's the best way to go. You are able to offer an experience. You are able to show up and search for things that are related to you. You have control over your platform and every part of the buyer's journey. Marketplaces can be great for non-tech savvy startups or non-tech savvy business owners. The heavy lifting is done for you when it comes to the infrastructure. But you want to ensure that you are having a big push into driving traffic to your store on that platform. Do not just let your digital presence be relegated to a marketplace, because if you're hoping that they're going to be pushing you and focusing on you, they can't. They have other people. They have your competition to push as well, all right? So you need to keep all of those things in mind. Now, here's the thing, right? Here in Trinidad and Tobago, this is the biggest problem that we have in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to marketplaces. The last time I checked, there were 30 plus marketplaces in Trinidad and Tobago, right? I have a loose list that I haven't updated in months. Probably over a year I haven't updated this list, right? But let me give you an example. Like, I can list you the last bit of marketplaces that I kept count. And I'm sure there is close to 40 marketplaces in Trinidad and Tobago alone now. And this is why, to me, it doesn't make no sense that TSTT launched another marketplace. We have so many. To me, if the government wanted to get into the marketplace space, they could have offered up grants and helped get behind some of the entrepreneurs that have already built out the marketplaces and partnered with them to see, where can they help, where can they aid, take that money and give out grants and help further, help entrepreneurs build these marketplaces even more than launching a government marketplace, right? So last time I checked, I'm just going to read some of these out for you, right? So look at this, right? Like I said, we have close to 40 marketplaces right now, and I got to update this list. We have Pickup TT, Shop Hub, Drop Hub, Callaloo Drive, Carib Shopper, Cybermart, Digital Marketplace TT, Shop Caribe, My Go-To List, Sell Your Stuff, Pin.TT, Barter Hut, ClickSmart, Tutool Bay, Trinitrolley, Glide, Red Barrel, ClickSmart, Trinimix, RTT Mall, Meridian TT, Planting Seeds, OnQ, Bink Shop, 868 Market, The Hub, Taurus One, Luhu, MyTF Shop, Shopaholic TT, South Market 868, eCaribbean Online, OnMark TT, Orderista. That's just to name a few. That's all online marketplaces in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? That's all the market. There are more, because more has come out since I made that list. More has come out. That's too many marketplaces. And on top of that, I personally know more marketplaces coming out, right? And we have to add Parlour Caribbean to that as well. And I know personally more marketplaces that are rolling out before the end of the year. So Trinidad has a population of 1-point-something million people, right? This is far too many marketplaces. This is way too many marketplaces. Not everyone is going to be able to survive on these marketplaces. It's just not possible. There is not enough room for all of these marketplaces. And remember, the strength in the marketplace is that they're listing all of these brands and vendors, and they're trying to get people to come to it, right? But all of them have subscription fee. The majority of them have subscription fees. Not everybody is going to be willing to pay it. All right? This is not like having a physical mall where physical mall people drive to, they set up, they go to, they park, they walk through. This is not that. Many of these businesses have to pay subscription fees, and this is why you have to look through all of these different marketplaces and see which one has a business model that resonates with you. Is it going to be one that has a subscription fee? What is the subscription fee? How much are their transaction fees? How much of the commission are they making? How are their delivery services? How are the checkouts? You as a business owner have to look through all of those things to make the right decision on whether or not that marketplace is the best fit for your business. But because there's so many marketplaces and all of the brands are all spread out, this isn't like rideshare, because in Trinidad and Tobago, we have like over 30 rideshare apps. The difference is all of those rideshare apps are free for people to register on. So drivers register for like 10 plus rideshare apps. They turn them all on at the same time. So depending on, the customer is going to use any one of those apps, and then they're going to find a driver whenever they're ready, right? But it doesn't cost none of the drivers to register on 10 of these apps. So they could have 10 on at the exact same time. The customer, will pick whichever one they want to use and order a driver. And again, there's no cost associated for the driver to register amongst all these apps, right? But they do all have their preferences because the commission structure is different for each of them, right? And then for us, we're going to use the platforms that have, access to the most drivers. It doesn't make no sense. You jump on an app and you realize, oh, wait a minute, there's no drivers in my area. So you just turn the app off and you go and find an app that has drivers in the area, right? But with the marketplaces, the majority of the marketplaces charge a subscription fee. So all of these brands are not going to list on all of these different marketplaces. You're not going to find one brand on 10 different marketplaces. And we have over 30, close to 40 marketplaces. So one brand is not going to list on 10 plus marketplaces. They're not going to do that because they have to pay a subscription fee for each of these ones, for the majority of them, right? So business owners, you all have to make that decision. Go through the different marketplaces, see which one makes the most sense for you, and then jump on the platform. And if the consumers go on a platform and they're not seeing, brands that make sense, they're just not going to do business on the platform. So to me, this is why having your own website, especially in the Caribbean, makes way more sense because you have full control over your platform. You can build your digital presence. You can show up on a Google search much easier on your own platform. You have more control. When people come to your platform, they're seeing all of your products and services. Because there are so many marketplaces in Trinidad, close to 40 plus marketplaces, all of the brands are spread out all across all of these marketplaces. There is no legitimate strength in any one of these marketplaces, right? To me, the best quote unquote marketplaces is Food Drop, but they're not a market. Well, they're a marketplace for restaurants. But why does Food Drop work? Food Drop works because they have the largest selection of restaurants. So while we have other, food apps or food delivery apps, while we have a couple more, we don't have as many food delivery service apps like we do online marketplaces. So the majority of restaurants are registered on a Food Drop, and that's the biggest one. And we all predominantly go there and get our food, all right? And there's not too many food delivery service apps. So a restaurant can potentially list on that. They could list on Skip the Line. There's not many on the market for food delivery service apps. So it's easier for them to say, you know what? Let me register on these platforms. And I don't even think on the food delivery service apps, I do not believe they charge a subscription fee. I believe it's just commission and transaction fees, right? And then the delivery fees are passed over to the consumer anyway. So you see how the different business models work out for all the restaurants? If they don't have to pay a subscription fee to register and just, money comes out off the top. And a lot of those fees are passed over to the customers anyway. They all win. But that's not the case with online marketplaces charging you monthly subscription fees. You're not going to be able to list on multiple e-commerce or multiple marketplaces. You're not going to be able to do that. Not when you're spending upwards of 600 TT to list on one platform. And then they still take the transaction fees. All right? So business owners, you need to do your homework. I gave you guys a list of marketplaces. You guys could always rewind and go back to the list of names that I've said. All right? If you're outside of Trinidad and Tobago, same applies. Really check out to see the marketplaces in your country. See if it makes sense. All right? For businesses, I would rather you guys learn how to list on Amazon. And maybe, you know what? I have to do that. I'm gonna interview one of the Amazon specialists in Trinidad and Tobago who works with businesses to get their businesses listed on Amazon. I'd rather you guys list on Amazon and learn about Amazon fulfillment and have your products shipped over, to the Amazon fulfillment centers. That way, you have your products being distributed to around the world, right? That's a good measure. But if you guys don't want to do that, guess what? If you guys I'm going to give you guys an example. If you check out Immortal Beauty TT, Immortal Beauty TT, and I'll give you guys a spelling of her website. It is IMMORTELLE Beauty, immortalbeautytt.com. If you check out her website, she is a small business owner, right? Her website is built to show prices in both TT dollars and US dollars. She even takes multiple forms of payment on the website, credit card. She has multiple forms of payment on the website that you guys can check out. And then she also has multiple forms of delivery on the website as well. So if you are somebody who is, you're local here in Trinidad and Tobago, she has a local courier company to do local delivery. But then guess what? If you are ordering from around the world, you can place the order on the website. The delivery fees get charged at checkout, and she does delivery with DHL, and DHL delivers anywhere in the world. So she takes multiple forms of payment on the website, and she has multiple forms of delivery. One for local delivery in Trinidad and Tobago, and then she uses DHL for international delivery. So you guys can do that. Check out immortal.tt, all right? You Google Immortal Beauty. Her website is immortaltt.com, IMMORTELLETT.com. Check out her shipping, check out her different payment options. And that is what you should have on your own website to be able to facilitate delivery for local people and also the international market, and then be able to take multiple forms of payment on the website, all right? I would rather you guys do that. I'd rather you guys learn how to use Amazon fulfillment. That way you guys are exposed to the largest e-commerce marketplace in the world and take advantage of Amazon fulfillment. Ultimately, you're going to have to make a decision when it comes to the marketplaces. But that's what I would say, right? And I will interview one of the Amazon specialists here so you guys can learn how to list on Amazon, what the process is, and go through all of that, all right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I definitely wanted to give you guys a kind of a breakdown, an idea as to, a marketplace versus a website, pros and cons. Marketplace does have their pros, all right? They do have their pros, but to me, websites are better for ultimately building your brand, creating your own experience, being found, because I don't think the majority of the Caribbean marketplaces know anything about SEO. They do not show up in searches, which is how Amazon is dominating. Amazon shows up in every single search. It's the number one product. They're the number one place that products get found, right? So I don't think Caribbean marketplaces have figured that out. And in Trinidad and Tobago, with close to 40 marketplaces, I do not foresee a marketplace doing well in Trinidad because there are so many, right? And a marketplace is only as good as the brands that are on it. But if all of the brands are spread all across 40 plus marketplaces, it doesn't make any sense to me. Business owners, you are better off having your own website, having your own delivery, because remember, you could do DHL. DHL is international delivery. We also have we have a ton of local courier companies you can use for local delivery. So logistics is taken care of. You have WePay, you have First Atlantic Commerce, you have payment gateways to be able to accept international payments on your website, all right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys can see some of the differences. I hope I've sparked, some ideas for you guys to start doing your own research. Ultimately, do your own research. I just wanted to highlight some points. Do your own research, all right? Do your own research. Rewind back to where I spoke about all the different marketplaces so you guys can go and individually check them out to see which ones make the most sense. And then also I'll check out your, how to build your own website. Either build it yourself or go hire a developer to go build it for you, all right? And you guys, if you want to be If you want to save on building a website, jump on Fiverr, jump on freelancer.com, jump on worky.net, workii.net. That's a Caribbean freelance platform. Jump on a freelance platform and look to see, costs to getting a website built for you guys, all right? If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to leave a rating on the podcast. The ratings help to continue to grow the podcast episodes. So jump on Spotify, jump on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating. The ratings definitely help. Don't forget to leave a review. The reviews, they give an inside look to onlookers who might be looking to listen to the Digipreneur FM podcast. The reviews help grow the podcast. They get pushed out to the podcast algorithms. People that are reading the reviews can decide whether they want to check out the podcast or not. So the reviews help me tremendously grow the podcast. And it also helps me, get a pulse check on you, the listener, to see if the content is good and, if you guys are enjoying it and where we can improve, topics you guys would like to see me cover, all of that drop in review. That helps me out tremendously, all right? If you guys are not following me over on social media, check me out over on social media at Caron Rose, KeronRosc. I'm on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check me out over there. If you want to learn more about building your digital presence, check out KaronRose.com, the website. And if you want to stay up to date on all things related to the podcast, check out the Digipreneur.fm podcast website, all right? That's it from me today, folks. Happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
You've been listening to the Digiboss, Caron Rose. We hope your notepad was filled after this episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. The learning doesn't stop, folks. And to make sure you don't miss any gems from the Digiboss, go over and follow him on all social media platforms at Caron Rose. Folks, don't just sit there with a notepad. We need you to implement at least one thing into your business before the next episode. That's the only way your business levels up. Thanks for listening to Digipreneur FM. Now go be great.